We're here at the ARC Forum with Jake Lydick, CEO and founder of iBot Aerial Solutions. Welcome, Jake.
Thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome. Could you just give a little introduction of yourself and your company?
Okay, so I was founded a company in January of 2018. We had a focus on going after the commercial industrial sector with drone technology and the resulting data. We were guilty of having creating the hammer and trying to find the nail, but we got the timing of the emergence of the commercial drone industry right, and we landed in oil and gas, and we have been focused on delivering data to the oil and gas and heavy industry sector ever since.
So some of us may not be familiar with what drone services means. What do you actually do for an oil and gas company?
Sure. So people think of drones as an inspection tool to give you an aerial perspective, and they're not wrong. But we've kind of moved the focus away from just the aerial inspection instances to the resulting data of what we can do with drones by means of creating 3D products by means of photogrammetry. So we're using the camera, same aerial's perspective as you would an inspection, but we're processing the images into 3D representations that are dimensionally accurate to inform processes across the enterprise.
Wow, okay. So obviously there are other drone service providers out there. Mm-hmm. What makes you a little different and particularly uniquely appropriate for the oil and gas companies?
We spent 4 years on a capital project, and there was so many people that were interfacing with this project. And when we created digital representations of a project at its current state, there was a lot of different folks that were able to interface with the data that saw that it was valuable. So instead of just focusing on the drone collections, the real value for us is the resulting data, and putting the hands of that resulting information into people that deem it valuable, that care about the things that they're working on, whether it be a project or an asset in its operational life cycle.
Wow. So there's a lot of people who use your product. Mm-hmm. You use the term interoperable dataset. Could you kind of explain that?
So we come to the table without a platform of our own. And that allows us to be unique in a way that we have established technology partnerships with enterprises. And what we're finding is that they need a level of consistency across their digital enterprise. So they ask us what information that we can leverage, that they can help them inform different systems and processes, help make decisions, save money, be more efficient, be safe. And we use their existing systems to do that. We have software partners, but for us, the software is actually a limiting factor. So we facilitate the data collections through our global network of data collectors. They send the raw data back to us, but the data collection is done with the end result in mind. So we oversee this process, and we use the right methodologies on the ground, the right hardware. They send the data back to us. We process the data in a way that it is usable to the end user, regardless of what software portfolio that they consume it in. Now we're delivering these data sets to artificial intelligence algorithms that are, helping them, inform their processes. So the concept of the interoperable data set is multiple different outputs, serves multiple different softwares from a single collection instance, and that's really where the value proposition of our services starts to take shape.
Neat. And there's this term you use called global standard. Can you talk about how that relates to what you do?
I mentioned a moment ago about the consistency of the data. So all we do is we address the pain points that the enterprise has. And they don't have quality, consistent data, and it's inaccessible to them. So we don't create the standards. They select the fidelity, the output, the area of interest, and the level of detail. And they are developing their own standards for how they want to use this information. We just enforce the standards and become the trusted data provider from there.
Okay, so you've got this data set, and people go to use it. I imagine there's some visualization associated with it. Talk a little bit about that visualization software.
Sure. So we're partnered with some of the best visualization softwares in the business. In fact, we are constantly going back and forth about the pain points of the client, how the data is being utilized within the software to make sure that the tool sets can support it. We don't develop the software, but we inform it, and we make any software portfolio, including the visualization softwares, a lot more valuable with the quality, consistent information that we populate it with. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely. So I have this idea of drones collecting data from a plant. There'd be then some analysis and showing that data to clients, visualization. Could you talk a little bit about how the clients access that data?
So what we found is that instead of there being, just providing them access, giving them a hard drive or something like that, there's more sophisticated means of the data flows that are being established already. So we're just leveraging the things that are already in place, and we just build a simple tool that will allow someone to understand what it is that we have to offer. The user can just log in to a simple tool. They see the formats that are available, and then we do everything else. When the data is ready for them, it becomes populated in the system, or it gets directly integrated into whatever software that they're using. So that's how we're solving the accessibility problem, but it's very, very basic.
So easy access, that's always a good thing. Evolving into the future, could you talk about the BVLOS a little bit and the automation that's coming forward?
Sure. So, from a collection standpoint, we don't believe that drones should have pilots. That's really not the point of a drone, right? Or any of these ground-based data collection efforts should be automated, and we don't want to be out of business because we're in the collection business. So if the data collection concepts, the data collection of the drones the cost of that is eventually going to be managing an automated solution, then we want to see what is out there in the marketplace that is going to support the data sets, the evolving data sets that the enterprise needs, and implement those systems and stay in that trusted data management piece. Because the more sophisticated that the equipment gets on the ground, the more the needs are on the enterprise side. There's this giant void of the data management piece, and that's where we want to continue to provide value. So that's how we see it evolving.
Wow, it's just a fascinating discussion around drones, data acquisition, visualization.
It's not boring.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. We've been talking with Jake Lydick, CEO and founder of iBot Aerial Solutions. Thank you for watching.